Hello, everyone. I am Sarah Mitchell. I was once a Bible teacher at a small church in Texas, someone who completely trusted in what the church taught. But my life changed forever after a miraculous experience, something I never imagined I would witness, an experience that made me no longer fear death, no longer doubt heaven, and helped me understand the true meaning of faith. August 12th, 2012 is a day I will never forget. It was the day my husband, Daniel, my life partner of 15 years, left this world. He had pancreatic cancer, a cruel disease that tormented him for 3 years. I had prayed, believed that a miracle would come, but as time went on, I realized that God had a different plan for him. That day, the doctor said Daniel might have a few more weeks to live. But I felt something unusual. Inside me was an invisible fear, but at the same time, there was an extraordinary peace, as if God was preparing me for something. That evening, I spent my last moments with him. I held his hand and read the Bible, verses we both loved. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. John 14:2-3. That night, I lay down but could not sleep. I prayed, telling God that I could not continue without Daniel. I asked him for a sign that Daniel was truly saved, that he was in a better place, and then everything changed. I felt a brilliant light flood the room. I couldn't move my body, but I wasn't afraid. Suddenly, I realized I was no longer in my body. I had left it behind. 2 angels appeared, their wings shimmering like the morning sun. They smiled and said, "Come with us. You will see what your heart seeks." I couldn't resist. I felt as if I were being carried by a gentle wind, and in just a moment, I found myself standing before a massive golden gate. I knew this place. This was heaven. I was overwhelmed by the beauty of this place. Everything was more radiant than anything on earth. Vast fields filled with flowers I had never seen before. Light emanated from everything, not blinding, but warm and full of love. I heard music, a hymn echoing through the space, voices singing of God's glory. I walked forward, drawn toward a magnificent palace. As I approached, an angel appeared and declared, "The righteous Daniel Mitchell is coming home." And then I saw them, a group of souls waiting outside the gate. They were radiant, their eyes full of love. I recognized Daniel's parents, his grandparents, those who had passed before him. They were there to welcome him home. Then the gate opened. Daniel stepped through with a beauty I had never seen before. No more signs of illness, no more pain. He shone like a being of light. When he saw me, I saw tears glistening in his eyes. "My love, what are you doing here?" he asked. "I don't know. I just wanted to make sure you were at peace." He smiled. "I am home, Sarah, and you will be here too when your time comes." I wanted to run to embrace him, but a voice echoed, one filled with authority, yet overflowing with love. "Sarah, you cannot stay here yet. You have a mission to complete." I turned and saw a magnificent figure. A blinding light surrounded him, but I knew it was Jesus. Without anyone telling me, I knew he was the source of all love, of all life. I knelt, tears streaming down my face. "Lord, please don't let me leave you." He placed his hand on my head, and I felt an energy envelop my entire soul. "Sarah, return. Tell them what you have seen. Help them know that I am waiting for them and that death is not the end. It is the beginning of a new journey." Immediately, I felt myself being pulled back into my body. Like free falling, I experienced the shock of my soul re-entering my physical form. I opened my eyes and saw Daniel's younger brother standing beside my bed, his face filled with worry. "Sarah, Daniel just took his last breath." But I didn't cry. I had seen where he had gone, I knew where he was, and I knew my faith had not been misplaced. After waking from that miraculous experience, I felt like a completely different person. Before, I had always feared death, worried about Daniel's fate, and wondered what happened after one left this world. But now I had no more doubts. I had seen heaven, I had met Jesus, and I knew Daniel was in his embrace. But at the same time, I understood that I could not stay there. God had given me a mission. I had to share what I had seen to comfort grieving souls and bring them hope. After Daniel's funeral, I decided to learn more about near-death experiences. I found stories of others who had also witnessed their loved ones being taken to heaven. I read books, attended seminars, and began sharing my story. I was surprised to learn that many people had similar experiences, but were afraid to talk about them, fearing judgment or disbelief, but I knew what I experienced was real, so I was not afraid. I chose to become a companion for those facing death. I volunteered at hospice centers, helping families with loved ones nearing the end. I told them about heaven, about hope, and about God's eternal love. Many came to me asking, "How do I know my loved one is in heaven? Is there really life after death? How can I connect with the one I lost?" I always answered, "Heaven is real. And if you believe in God and live with love, death is not the end. It is just a doorway to a new life." After Daniel passed, I often received signs that I believed were messages from him. One day, while praying, I heard our favorite hymn playing on the radio, even though I was sure I hadn't turned it on. Another time, I saw a white butterfly hovering around my house all afternoon, something that had never happened before. And in a dream, I saw Daniel standing by the shore, smiling at me and saying, "Sarah, keep doing your work. We will meet again." These moments strengthened my faith that our loved ones never truly leave us. They are still there, watching over us, waiting for the day we reunite. One major change in me was how I viewed religion. Before, I believed there was only one way to God, through the strict doctrines of the church. But my experience made me realize that heaven is much greater than any doctrine. I met a Catholic priest who once doubted the afterlife. After hearing my story, he wept and said, "God showed you what we can only believe in our minds." I also met a Buddhist who had a near-death experience similar to mine. Though we came from different religions, what we saw was the same: light, love, and a world without division. That made me realize God is not limited to one religion. Heaven is not for a select group. It is for all who live with love. Death is not the end. It is a transition to another world where love and light reign. Heaven is real. It is not just an abstract idea, but a real place. Love never dies. Our loved ones are still with us, waiting for our reunion. God is love. I saw not a God of punishment, but one of mercy and forgiveness. All religions have value. What matters is not the religion, but how you live. If you are grieving a loved one, remember, they have not truly left you. They are still there, loving you, and one day you will meet again. Live with love, kindness, and forgiveness, for that is the path to the light. And believe heaven is real. God is waiting for you with open arms.